From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Hurricane Milton remains the main focus on this day as it approaches Florida's west coast. Landfall is forecast around 5 p.m. this evening in and around the Tampa Bay area. It will make landfall as a major hurricane with the possibility of up to a 15-foot storm surge. A state of emergency has been declared in the state, and evacuations have been underway for the past 24 hours. Do not delay. There are already reports of about 1,000 gas stations in the state that are out of gas, with about 70% of the stations in the Fort Myers area reported to be out of fuel as of Monday night. According to reporting by CNN, demand surged as those in Milton's path were trying to fuel up before evacuating. Others who planned to ride out the storm are trying to fill gas tanks so that they'll be able to power their generators should they lose electricity for an extended period of time. Gas price tracking service GasBuddy reported that as of Tuesday morning, about 15% of gas stations statewide were without fuel, and that's a dramatic spike from just 3% on Monday. And the situation was far worse in areas facing mandatory evacuation orders, like Fort Myers. Governor Ron DeSantis tried to tamp down panic buying and drivers topping off tanks, which can make shortages worse. DeSantis, in a press conference Tuesday, assured residents that the state is working to bring emergency supplies of gasoline to stations that have run out of gas. He said the state's reserves include 110,000 gallons of gasoline and 268,000 gallons of diesel fuel, and he said while those reserves are falling because of distribution that has already taken place, there are 1.2 million gallons of both currently en route to the state. DeSantis said 27 fuel trucks were escorted by the Florida Highway Patrol to deliver fuel to stations in the anticipated impact area of the storm. Once the storm passes, problems getting gasoline into the state could persist if there is damage to the Port of Tampa. That's because the Port of Tampa is a key entry point for much of the gasoline that arrives in Florida via tanker or barge. From there, it is distributed to the state by tanker trucks and by a pipeline leading to the Orlando area. But there are no pipelines bringing gasoline from refineries on the Gulf Coast or northern states as fuel is moved around much of the rest of the country. The port has been closed due to the storm, although DeSantis said it has fuel at its gasoline terminals currently and continues to operate ahead of the storm. It could take a little while for it to reopen to tankers and barges once the storm passes. And the real fear is that the hurricane and storm surge could cause significant damage to the port. Stay tuned to AccuWeather throughout the day for updates as Milton draws closer to the coast. And for more stories and regional forecasts, visit AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, including a hurricane tracker, download the AccuWeather app. Be safe, and I'll be back tomorrow with more weather news from AccuWeather.